Today, I want to challenge one of the most popular ideas floating around in the modern career space, especially in the age of AI. And that's this concept of future proofing. I hear it everywhere, right? You want to future proof your career. You want to future proof your skill set. You want to future proof your business. And let me put it like this. To me, future proofing assumes a level of foresight that none of us possess. It assumes the future is predictable. It assumes the world favors stability. It assumes the environment we operate in won't fundamentally change course in ways we could never anticipate. So today, I want to dismantle the myth of future-proofing, and I want to give you the mindset that actually does keep you viable in the evolutionary sense, right? In the professional sense, and now in the age of AI. Let's start with the core problem. Future-proofing assumes that you can pick a skill today, pick a path today, or pick a way of working today, and it will remain valuable tomorrow. But environments don't work that way. Not in biology, not in business, not in society, and certainly not in this AI era that we are in. Evolution doesn't preserve the strongest traits. It preserves the traits that fit the environment that exists, right? Not the theoretical environment, not the desired environment that you want, but the actual environment that you're in. You can have the best skill set in the world, but if your environment shifts in a direction that no longer rewards that skill set, congratulations, you're obsolete. We see this everywhere in nature, right? Species that should have thrived didn't. Species that looked inferior outlasted everything. Survival isn't about superiority. It's about suitability. And the same is true for your career. Let's take it further with a thought experiment. We often think of intelligence as an evolutionary advantage. But imagine a future where the cultural environment begins selecting against higher intelligence. Imagine a political or social environment where being highly intelligent is punished, suppressed, or, hey, maybe it's even targeted. So what happens next? The advantage flips into a disadvantage, right? A virtue today becomes a vice tomorrow, right? It's not hard to imagine this thing happening. History's done it many times. And the main point is this. You can't future-proof a trait. You can only remain adaptive to whatever environment emerges. Even extreme examples help make that same exact point. It's not the trait that survives, it's the trait that fits. So if future-proofing doesn't exist, then what does? Adaptability. Your willingness to learn, your willingness to unlearn, your willingness to be wrong, your willingness to try things before they're actually perfect, your willingness to take feedback and adjust, your willingness to evolve faster than the environment changes. That is the closest thing we have right now to actual future-proofing. Static skill sets will not, and they do not protect you, but a dynamic mind and a dynamic mindset does. In Lean Six Sigma terms, for example, adaptability is continuous improvement applied to yourself, and that's the Kaizen of your own mind. And in leadership terms, it's psychological flexibility, and that's the strength to adjust without losing integrity. When you remain adaptable, you're not betting on a specific future. You're betting the ability to respond to any future that you're presented with. Now let's talk about AI. Because this is where the rubber meets the road, right? AI is not just another tool in the toolbox. It's an environmental shift right now, right? It is as significant, and some say it's even more significant than the internet and automation. It's changing how work is done. It's changing what work is needed. It's actually changing who does it. It's changing how quickly skills become obsolete, and it's changing how fast new skills appear and how organizations value human contribution. In this world that we're now in, future-proofing is impossible. The half-life of knowledge is shrinking and the rate of change is accelerating, but adaptability is timeless. In this AI era, people will be rewarded who can unlearn and relearn faster than the environment shifts. It rewards people who do not cling to what they used to know, people who don't over-identify with a job title, people who move fluidly as the ecosystem moves, and it punishes rigidity, even if that rigidity comes from your skill set. People think the key is accumulating skills. Nothing wrong with getting your skills sharp, but let me be plain about this. Skill accumulation is not strategic unless it's accompanied by adaptability. I met plenty of people with enormous skill sets and technical skills, but they're completely brittle. They know everything except how to evolve. They know everything except how to learn. They know everything except how to handle being wrong. These are the people most likely to be disrupted. And I've met people with far fewer skill sets, but they have an incredible willingness to learn, experiment, fail, adapt, and iterate. These are the people who will stay relevant. These are the people who will thrive. And these are the people the future rewards. Let me give you 3 actionable principles to build adaptive permanence, right? So you can be more adaptable. 1, stay in perpetual learner mode and don't just learn when things are breaking. Learn when things are stable. Hell, learn when you don't even need to, right? That builds learning stamina. 2, practice iterative courage before perfection. So try small, fail small, refine fast, because the future rewards velocity, not flawlessness. And 3, follow feedback. Feedback in the environment telling you something, right? It's a signal that it gives you before you become extinct. So listen, adjust, and move. The truth about future-proofing. Here's the truth. You cannot future-proof your skills. You cannot future-proof your career, and you cannot future-proof your business. You can only future-proof your mind. Future-proofing is static. Adaptability is dynamic. One tries to hold on, while the other learns how to let go and reform. And in the world shaped by AI, a rapid change and shifting environments, adaptability isn't an advantage, it's survival. And those who embrace it will not just survive the future, they will shape the future. This has been a Strategy Saturday. In Strategy Saturday, we discussed the why. In Execution Tuesday, we discussed the how. Yeah, strategy and execution. We bring them both together, and that's how we make it happen here. Until next time.